Hey, what's up, guys? It's JJ Ricochet back with another video. So, today we're looking at what if civilization started over. I have zero idea what episode we're on. I think we're on episode 7. Wow. Really going through this. Huh. But yeah. I've got a live stream in 57 minutes, so I gotta go get this through. Yeah, if you see this within the first 10 minutes of it being out, yeah, join my live stream. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at in May 28th. So yeah, today we will be looking at more expansion, as currently we are just in Eurasia and Africa. But yeah, we need a lot more countries to go through this. And something that will be happening is a country will be breaking off. Specifically, this country will have a revolution. The backstory behind this is the people had voted for lighter taxes and to be represented more by the government, and the government did the opposite of that, taxed them even more, and gave them less freedom and became a dictatorship even. So yeah, the people have revolted, and we see a lot of other revolts popping up throughout this country. Before this country is like, yo, stop, and shuts these two revolts down all the way. But not before giving up some room to this revolution. And they will be like, yo, we're fine. We don't want a war. So they just let this peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula, go. And this is the peace treaty. Oh, sorry. That's the peace treaty. But what they don't realize is that while they were doing that, this country up here snuck and took Normandy and a little bit of Britannia, I think is the name. And yeah, at this point the government realizes this and is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Didn't we just say we didn't want war? And so they signed peace with this country as well. Now this country will be getting a lot of land, but not much land at the same time, as they wanted a lot more, but they still got a lot. But yeah, the blue country has shrunk a lot. So yeah, this thing doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, so navies. We see this country, their navy kind of covers that, and a little bit less because they don't really put money into their navy. Put more money into people, social spending. So it'd be more like that, as well as these islands would control that area. Sorry about that. And then this country would also get their navy, as this space is just opened up, and they will be taking full advantage of it. This country has just developed its own navy, and they push their navy out and into the waters surrounding them. And this country will expand their navy all the way up to their border. And oh no, another revolution. This time, as you could probably tell, it's between this country and the gold country. This country, I was saying this country and the gold country. But yeah, we see them take, sorry, I just had to get the correct color down. We see them take a lot of the navy, and their navy eventually pushes all the way around, taking out the navy completely, and they start pushing into the gold team's territory, taking all of their coast and pushing up further before the gold team basically just says, yeah, no, we're not strong enough to fight this. These rebellions are way too strong for us. And they form a peace treaty, which will look something like this. And yeah, you couldn't tell, I'm kind of rushing because I got a live stream and I want to get to that live stream. But yeah. So as you can see, there's a lot of white on this map now, and people are going to start pushing into these areas, and some even will start making their own civilizations. So we see, what the, did I just, yeah, I accidentally undid something. We see a group of people from the purple team go down into India, over around, and eventually reach this southern tip of India, where they decide is a good place to start a civilization. That is way too bright. I need it to be a little bit darker. Yeah. Can go a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. So yeah. No, come on. Sorry about that. They will make a civilization down in the southern tip of India and start filling up this area with more immigrants from the purple country and from the red country, pink country, basically every country around wants to kind of get into Asia. There's now like a sort of rush for Asia. Speaking of a rush for Asia, Purple Team has just sent their population into Asia, but this was the last straw for the people since they had specifically said we don't want any more expansion. And yet this new stuff that just kind of happened, and even some of the old stuff, starts to break away and fights back against the old government. They develop their own navy and completely take this navy over and start. Some of the navy shifts over and starts to bat back the old navy. That's a clothing brand, but yeah. And eventually, even more of the navy shifts over, and the purple team's like, "Yo, we're done with this war," and they push back the navy all the way to their own coast over here, all the way like this, and they sign a peace treaty because they don't want any bloodshed. They want their reputation to be upheld, as they really like. They're kind of having a problem with people going against them, which is shown when this country pushes in and takes some land from the purple team, eventually meeting up with the border of the orange team, and the orange team agrees to cede this over to the yellow team, and eventually the yellow team also will sign peace with the purple team, but that is not stopping the green team from getting involved. This is not a war between the green and the yellow team. These borders suck. But yeah. I'm just gonna fix these real quick. This really is just, this border just doesn't know how to cooperate. But yeah, the purple team will officially declare peace with all nations, and yeah. So the peace treaty will look something like that. Sucks. Like this, with them getting a little bit of land back from each of the countries that were in the war. I'm not undoing what I just did, so there we go. Perfect. So yeah, that's the new purple team. And now other people will start pushing their people to move into this area, but they were not so specific. So we see that a lot of new civilizations start popping up. This will be much easier to see when the map is more white, but we see this light sky blue sort of civilization pop up. We see a sort of green yellowish country. Did I already use this color? I did already use that color. Dang, that sucks. Let's just use this as a base and go like that. Perfect. And we now have a new color. This country pops up in India, and this country continues expanding its border, going all the way around, and eventually taking most of the Indian peninsula, but not before other countries can quickly sweep it up. Not the Orange country, because they just had a revolution about expanding. They will actually give up. They will sell some of their land to India. India will get all of this land. And yeah, this country will be the one that expands further. These borders suck. That's better. This country will expand, cutting the green team off. And this country will expand further down into the jungles of Myanmar. But they shall not explore any more of this because it's really jungly. I mean, they'll explore like this much into it, just because it's right on their border and they want to know at least like something that's going on. But yeah, we also see, since this country is about to be no longer isolated, they start. Okay, what's going on here? Sorry about that. They start going further down, taking whatever this Chinese island is called, and starting to push across, eventually making its way into Vietnam and Laos, and eventually a little bit of Cambodia is reached. And we also see a different country popping up wrong thing. No, that's too red. There we go. We see another country popping up in this area, and it was from China, but it was from Chinese citizens that didn't really want to be a part of China anymore. We also see them explore further into Vietnam and across the jungles. They eventually start pushing a little bit further into exploration to try to explore further down here. And we finally see explorers going up and exploring and finding these Japanese islands up here. And they think that it's a huge island chain because they go up and around and it keeps going up. But really, it's not that huge of an island chain. I mean, it's a pretty huge island chain, but it goes all the way down here. But yeah, they continue to explore up into this area over here, and they eventually meet up, and now it's basically just rainforest left. I mean, there was a lot of rainforest over here, but they were like going through it ever so slowly. Same thing down here. There's rainforest, but they're still going. But yeah, people also send more explorers up into Russia and explore the Mongolia area. And eventually reach all the way into the Siberian Peninsula, which is up here. This is not the Siberian Peninsula. Or really, it's not a peninsula, but the Siberian area. But they discover Sakhalin, and really they just explore a lot of Russia, And we see a lot of European and African people coming over to the Asian area and settling a lot of settlements. We have one over down in Sri Lanka down here. Did I already use that blue? I did already use that blue. I have not used this blue yet, I don't think. No, yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit darker so it's more distinguishable than that one. Yeah, that's much better. And we see another one pop up in this little area over here that's way too similar to this. Let's make it a little bit more beet red. And yeah, we see another population, another civilization pop up down here, exploring the rest of Malaysia and a little bit into Indonesia. And we also see them just explore a bit of Indonesia. And the rest of Malaysia is also explored. We see them finally start exploring the Philippines as they reach the south and the north from China, fully exploring it. And they see a few Indonesian islands, but no one really wants to colonize them right now. We see a little country up here form. We see the exact color of this. Alright, so we see a gray country form up here, taking the entirety of the Korean Peninsula. Now we see a little bit of a race up here, as there are now civilizations to compete with. That's not a war, I just thought it would look better like that. And yeah, we see China join this race to try to get a little bit more land in Asia, even making not an invasion, a colonization attempt, and colonizing all of the Philippines. And we see the gray country colonize all of known Japan to them, and eventually they get up to here and they see across, they discover that's the end of the island chain, and they do go a little bit into it, but that's as far as they really get, as they stop there and start focusing more on Asia. You guys can figure out a timeline for the events that happen in this series. I don't really care about the timeline. I just got a goal in mind on when I'm going to end, when I'm going to continue this. And yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good color. Alright, we see we see another country form in Europe. Oh my god. We see another country form in Europe that's goal is to get into Asia, and they make a huge claim over all this land. They don't really have many people, but they do invite people from other countries to come and join them in their newly acquired lands. And we see Finland expanding a little bit more, going all the way up into their known Russia, and start sending out a huge exploration campaign filled with hundreds of people, maybe even thousands, depending on what you think the population is. I think the population's about 30 million by now, maybe more. But they make a huge exploration campaign, maybe like 100 million people, but still not that much. We see a huge exploration campaign, as I've said like 40 times now, take place with hundreds, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people from all over the place going through to try to explore the rest of Asia. We see these Asian countries getting involved, sending their explorers, and eventually we see Russia almost completely be discovered. Only the very northern bits and a few of these islands, these Norwegian islands, are eventually discovered, as well as these Russian islands, but the rest of the Russian islands in northern Russia, not explored. They finally explore all of the jungle and start exploring more of Indonesia, which they eventually explore all of it and all of the Papua New Guinea island. They see Australia through this tip right here, and these islands. They think it's just more of an island chain. But they see Australia through this tip. They think it's just a pretty big island, but they don't know how big. Not even realizing that it's a continent that they just discovered. But yeah, we also see Iceland scouts start an exploration in Greenland. Well, not really Iceland scouts, just scouts that were in Iceland. But we see them make an exploration campaign in Greenland, but all of them die, except for one, which goes back and tells them about that. But they all starve to death, as they were thinking that they would be able to grow a little bit of food, maybe hunt, but there's just nothing there, so they starved to death. As they were right here, a blizzard kicked in and kind of trapped them in a cave, and they starved to death, not being able to hunt, fish, or farm. I mean, farming is out of the question already, because it's Greenland, and also it would take a long time to farm. But that is the extent of what they did before they died. And yeah, that one person is the only reason that everyone else knows about the thing. So I'm going to make a new color. Takes a really long time to make a new color now. But yeah, we see a new country pop up in northern UK and throughout these British islands. And they completely colonize Iceland, and they lay claim over this newly discovered land in Greenland, but no one lives there, and they don't want to put people there, so they just lay claim to it. We also see a new civilization form in the Ireland country, or the Ireland island. It's too similar to the other one. Let's make it more red. And now let's make it more that color. Maroon. Yeah, it's not maroon enough to be that, so. Alright, so yeah. I know you guys don't really like not seeing wars, but right now, people are like peaceful, with mostly peaceful, except for the countries that are like inside of a group of countries and they can't expand. Everyone else is peaceful. And next episode, you will see, I've already gotten rid of my uploading schedule because I think it's too slow. So now it's every week, every day of the week except for Sunday, and I will take a few break days every once in a while, but I try to stick to my schedule. But yeah, other than that, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment on my latest video or this video. I will see either way. And yeah, our subscribe goal is 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I know we're probably going to make it now because we're at 64. When I first made this goal, we were at 50. And we gained 14 subscribers or something like that in the span of half a month. So, yeah. Our like goal for this video is 15 likes. The video gets enough views, that'll be possible. But yeah, 15 likes is our like goal. So try to help me get to that, and I will see you all in the next video. Or, if you're watching today, I will hope to see you in the live stream. JJ Rickshay, out.